Hi everyone, welcome to Bankruptcy Resource Radio. I'm Steve Peck. If you're considering filing for bankruptcy, then this is the program you need to hear. We're going to help you understand the process of bankruptcy, and we'll show you ways to regain control of your life during this trying time. You're going to learn how to stop a foreclosure and wage garnishments, and we'll show you how to discharge your debts and stop creditors from hassling you. You know, bankruptcy used to be something individuals and companies were ashamed of, but now in the light of current economic conditions and with some of the largest companies in the world filing for bankruptcy, the subject is being brought out of the closet and into the mainstream. My guest today is attorney Douglas Kuthi, an expert in the field of bankruptcy law. Thanks for being on the program, Doug.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Hey, let's start from the top. Why don't you explain to us what exactly is bankruptcy?
Well, bankruptcy is a legal procedure that's been around for many, many years. It allows people who have fallen into debt to dissolve their debts and keep their assets.
It's a very trying time for a lot of these people, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Most people, when they come to me, are very stressed out by the whole thing. The problems they face are absolutely overwhelming. Usually they're in a position where somebody is seizing their wages or trying to foreclose on their house, or the creditors are just calling them to the point of distraction. I can stop all of that.
So tell us who files for bankruptcy.
Anybody can file for bankruptcy. I have businesses that file, I have individuals that file, I have families as a whole that file. Most of the time I'm trying to stop foreclosures for people because of the way the economy is going and the fact that the banks have absolutely no mercy on them. Other times I'm just trying to get creditors off people's backs. The calls can just be completely overwhelming.
So what about the reasons? There must be many. What are those reasons for filing for bankruptcy?
Well, if you look at the website here, you'll see that I list 19 of them. I can't tell you all of them off the top of my head, but I can tell you the number one reasons that people call me are foreclosures, garnishments, creditor harassment, tax debts, student loans. Every one of those can be dealt with in one way or another in bankruptcy.
So how do you know when to do that? I mean, at what point should an individual or a company file for bankruptcy?
They should consider filing for bankruptcy as soon as they realize they're in financial trouble. The biggest mistake that people make is waiting too long to look into a bankruptcy solution. For example, with a foreclosure, the end process in the foreclosure is called a sheriff's sale. At that point in time, the sheriff actually sells the house to the bank for the amount that's outstanding on the mortgage. If that sheriff's sale takes place, there is absolutely nothing I can do to reverse it. But if you come into me before then, I can file a bankruptcy that stops the foreclosure proceedings before the sheriff's sale can take place, and I can save the house.
Why do you think people wait so long? Is it just that they're very confused, they're very stressed?
That's a good part of it. Quite often they're paralyzed. Quite often they don't think there is anything that they can do. Quite often people think with all the noise that was made about bankruptcy reform a few years ago that there is simply nothing left for them to do under the law. That's not true. Bankruptcy reform only eliminated a few people from filing, and even then they're still allowed to file Chapter 13.
So you're speaking about the changes that occurred in October of 2005, that new Chapter 7 bankruptcy law?
That's correct.
So explain the process to us. How do you file? What's involved?
Well, you come to see me. I interview you in regard to your financial condition, determine whether or not you have pressing problems that need to be dealt with on an emergency basis, or whether we can wait to file. I gather information from you, explain to you the entire process in detail, how you get to keep your assets, and how you'll get out of the debts when all is said and done, whether you're a candidate for a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. Once you understand all of that, and this explanation usually takes a good hour or so, then you have the opportunity to move forward with